Good day, everyone. Thanks for joining us here in the charts. You tuned into the Market Beast edition. It is your fellow compadre speaking with another episode of ASMR/interesting analysis. Today we'll be exploring NIO. I have the most interesting chart that I think I've found. It's going to blow your mind, but not really. It's pretty interesting though, so stick around to the end. Loyal subscribers, welcome back. If you're new here and you find any useful information, we'd love for you to join us here. So let's not waste time. Let's dive right into the charts here, shall we? All right, so today's March 20th, 2021, and the previous close of NIO is going to be $43.35. It closed positive approximately 4.1% for the day. Okay, if I didn't give you guys a briefing, what we're going to do is I found a really interesting pattern. It's actually a Wing pattern that has taken place in the past, and that could potentially take place again in the future. So let's go ahead and reveal what I've been following, and here it is. Voila, it's beautiful. It's not what we're normally, I usually have like boring charts, but this is actually pretty neat. I like it. So what we're going to do, there's actually one more addition. Here it is. All right, so if you've been following us closely, you'll know that what that is. That's our 100 moving average on the daily. It's a really simple moving average. So let me just break this down to let everyone know what we're actually looking at. So again, this isn't guaranteed to play out, but what has taken place in the past could be taking place in terms of a fractal or pattern here. And it all starts, it takes about 31 days. That's what this represents right here, about 31 days. And the timer, so to speak, starts on the initial breakdown on the daily candle. These are daily candles. When it breaks below this 100 moving average, a little white line right here, the number one circle, purple circle, represents the initial breakdown below the 100 moving average, okay? So that takes place on March the 2nd, 2021. Now, the second part of this beautiful instrument, or story rather, is going to be number 2. It has a 32% decline to the downside. So that's number 2. So first, number 1, of course, the initial breakdown below the line. Number 2 is a 32% decline. Now, number 3 represents the higher low. So of course, this is a pretty bullish, I mean, for those of you who aren't familiar with interesting analysis, is what we call it here. I don't do a technical analysis anymore, guys, just interesting analysis. The Wing pattern is very bullish, okay? So when you have a Wing pattern, in most cases, you have a low, and then you have a higher low. So right now the price is obviously like $43 or so, but if it were to go a little bit lower, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if it does, that would be obviously a better buying opportunity for the NIO bulls and the long-term investors, right? So if it goes down, as long as it makes a higher low in terms of the daily candles bodies, as long as it's above 35.14, yeah, everything's perfectly fine, or potentially in line with what I think I've found with this Wing pattern. So let's just go on over back in the day, so to speak, so that we can see if what we're looking at now makes any sense, right? Or can be compared to what has taken place in the past. And before we go over there, just keep in mind the timer starts 31 days on the initial breakdown below the 200, I'm sorry, the 100, hopefully I haven't been saying 200, below the 100 moving average on this purple circle, the daily candle break below starts the time. Let's go ahead and scoot on over back to present day. It's the same area that we were measuring back in like March 2020. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful circle right here. And I think I actually erased one of them. I'm so unorganized, guys. Sorry. You have to expect unprofessionalism, by the way, if you're new here. So what we're going to do is the number 1, the purple circle, that actually represents the initial breakdown below the 200 moving average. Okay, hopefully you can actually see that. It's going to be right here. So this, what is that? March the 16th, 2020, this green candle right here represents the initial breakdown below the 200 moving average. Stick with me, okay? I know you guys are with me. I just have to say that. So number 1 has taken place. The daily candle has broken below the 200 moving. And then the second thing, of course, would be the 32% move to the downside, which represents number 2. We actually have made like a whole video about this, and I don't even think we measured the first one, but it does represent 32% to the downside, like 31%. So that has happened. So we got a check mark for number 2. Number 3, we need a higher low. That's all we're looking for on present day. But of course, in the past, this is what I'm comparing it to, which has potential, okay, not guaranteed. But the low here, the lowest point that we can measure back in March 2020 was like $2.30, okay? And the higher low, I think it was like 7 cents higher. We're just looking at the candle's bodies. It was $2.40 approximately. So this was beautifully orchestration of the Wing pattern. And the fourth final part, and again, the 31 days, I'm going to measure everything out so we're all on the same page with 31 days and how I got it. So the 31 days, I was able to get that by measuring the official daily candle to break below the 100 moving average. Yes. And then the initial retest of the 100 moving average, represented over here on April the 16th, 2020. Okay, so you see how, let me just go ahead and measure that out. So that measures out to 31 days, if you can see that on here. It's kind of hard. I can't edit a video. Sorry, guys. So 31 days it took for it to close the daily candle below the 100 moving and then retest it at the 100 moving average. Now, again, everything has to be perfectly in line to make sure that this plays out again. We have to have initial breakdown, 32% down, higher low, and then a retest. So let's go on over to present day and see if we can keep our speculative caps on, or at least keep mine on, right? And see if what could potentially take place again that has already taken place in the past, all right? So we already have number one. We've already verified that. Number one, the purple, okay? Initial breakdown, 32% down. We verified that. Now, again, if there's any more downward pressure in the market, guys, the only thing you're looking at, don't panic, okay? It's a buy-in opportunity for those who understand what this is. Do not go based on what I'm saying. This isn't financial advice, okay? 35.10, as long as it's above that level, it's making a higher low. Maybe a double bottom. I'm not sure. But the timer has started at this day right here, March the 2nd. So let's go ahead and measure out how many days this potential fractal or pattern has taken place. So we're 17 days in, assuming we're comparing apples to apples. So let's go ahead and take it on over to about 30 days. Let's say 30 days or 34 days. It's kind of weird. It measures out like April the 1st on 30 days. And then if you move it over to like April the 5th, it's like 34 days. Maybe there's a holiday or something like that. But let's just say it's 31 days. April the 5th, 2021, assuming that something like this could take place again, that has taken place in the past, then by April the 5th, 2021, it's likely we'll see a move higher, right? Near the, let's just call it like, I don't know, $50, okay? Assuming that that this is a Wing pattern, and assuming that from this impulse leg down, the market needs a little bit more consolidating before it reapproaches the higher level. This way, it would be a healthy, sustainable move as it continues to move to the upside. NIO is in a overall uptrend. I'm not sure if I said that. It's in a beautiful uptrend, okay? NIO, this is not a bearish video about NIO. NIO has more time and a lot of momentum, I must also add, to move to the upside as long as it makes a higher low. That's the third thing. That's the only thing that I'll be understanding in the charts as we move forward over the next week in this NIO market, okay? So that's pretty much it. You have the time frame, you have the potential level that it could go up to, even if NIO just like kind of, you know, blasts off next week and it goes all the way up to like $50, $52. Guys, that's fine. I just wanted to kind of point this out as a reference point in case you all are out there, you know, long-term investing, or if you're kind of in and out of the markets. Hopefully you're not using this as financial advice, but just kind of something to kind of, you know, reference using conjunction with the fundamentals that you're currently using, which is perfectly fine, okay? So I think we have covered everything. You have the level that it needs to stay above in terms of the higher low in the market, 35.10. You have the date that it could potentially be moving in the upwards trajectory, April the 5th. And of course, any higher targets. I guess there's one thing that may not make a lot of sense. Well, I'm just going to say it. I'm not saying it's not going to make a lot of sense. But the $58 level is the buyer's obligation level. I was able to verify that through some interesting data. So I just want to kind of leave that out with you all. $58 and some change. There's a course that we hopefully eventually come out with. That's how I was able to find that level. That's the buyer's obligation level. I know some people stop in for that level. So that's pretty much all I have for you wonderful folks. Hopefully this made sense. You have the time frame that is currently up against like 17 days within this potential pattern. We still have a few more days out to like April the 5th to play out. Let's see what happens in the NIO market. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Leave an appropriate thumb just below the video there if you enjoy the content, if there was any useful information in the video. Hopefully we've earned your subscription if you're new. So before you go, we also covered the alternative markets. I'm not sure if you're into Bitcoin and altcoins. We cover that. Subscribe, hit the bell. We'll send you that when it's available. And yeah, we covered everything, guys. So take care of yourselves, protect your portfolios, execute your strategies. We're going to talk very soon. And bye for now.